Well, ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year and welcome back to another episode of Monday Night Raw. And we are being greeted by the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. And this, of course, the last edition of Raw before Extreme Rules. So needless to say, tonight is a very important night. Last week, Cody Rhodes was trying to call out the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, but to no avail. So because of that, Cody decided that he wanted to have a face-to-face confrontation this week on Raw, and it looks like tonight he might just be getting his wish. What sort of challenge the American Nightmare has up his sleeve? Well, that remains to be seen. But needless to say, we are kicking off the new year with a bang. Well, you might want to batten down the hatches because, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time here in Universe Mode in 2024, it could very well be Fight Night. Of course, a couple weeks ago, Sheamus losing against a debuting Cody Rhodes. And out of a sign of sore sportsmanship, hit Cody with a low blow. What a match that's been set here. No, wait a second. Sheamus trying to get the upper hand with a cheap shot attempt on Cody, but Cody fighting back here, taking the fight to the Irishman. And now Sheamus coming back with some offense of his own, and down goes Rhodes. Sheamus said that there was no respect on the part of Cody. He believes that Cody one-upped him on a night that should have been about him when he returned from injury. And now Cody returns the favor with some right hands, and out of the ring goes Sheamus. A Donnybrook Brawl match has been accepted by Cody Rhodes for Extreme Rules in Detroit, Michigan. How big is that? I, for one, cannot wait to see what that match has in store. That is going to tear the house down. And speaking of tearing the house down, it is time for the United States Championship Open Challenge. And as you can see, Austin Theory wearing the aforementioned necklace that Dakota Kai bought him during the break. Every week we keep talking about how there's tension between those two. Everyone else sees it, but I'm starting to wonder if they do. But last week, Dijak came out after a successful title defense on the part of Theory and laid him out. And now, we have come to tonight. If I'm Austin Theory, I would be very wary about defending my title against someone the caliber of Dijak. Remember, this is the same man that defeated Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Brock frickin' Lesnar. How often does that happen? Everyone thought Dijak didn't have a chance in hell in that match. And one feast your eyes later, the beast was out for the 1-2-3. That was Brock Lesnar. No offense to Austin Theory, who has been a great United States champion up until this point. But Austin Theory is no Brock Lesnar. So if I'm Theory, I'm not worried about wearing a necklace that Dakota Kai got for me. Right now, I'm worried about how the hell am I going to get this guy down for the 1-2-3. And there's been talk on social media that while Theory has been a great champion up until this point, people say that he hasn't faced anyone legit, which creates a huge disservice to those who he has beaten. Tommaso Ciampa, Jordan Devlin, or JD McDonough, excuse me. But you want to talk about legit opponents. Someone who is to be feared, Dijak is that man. But we're about to see just what kind of champion Austin Theory really is. As Dijak laying down the offense, and what a spinning kick there by Dijak, who has the champ on his back early on in this match. We are kicking off 2024 with the United States Championship match here between Austin Theory and Dijak, and look out! Belly-to-belly suplex there by Dijak, who right now, Theory has just, oh my god. Theory planted in the center of the ring, a 2 count here, and Theory kicks out. One thing I will say about Theory that I have not mentioned yet, he has tuned up the aggressiveness, but he is also extremely resilient. Nice drop toe hold there by the champ. And oh my god, what a scissors kick. Theory might just have the best scissors kick in the game. There's no denying how tough this kid Austin Theory really is. I mean, he showed the world just how tough he really was when he went toe-to-toe and beat Seth Rollins for the United States Championship at SummerSlam. That was a huge accomplishment for this kid, and it's only upward from here, but this man, oh my goodness. A superplex from the top. In Theory's not done yet, going through the top. Tope Suicida through the middle rope. And perhaps I spoke too soon. The resilience of Austin Theory being proudly put on display at the moment. And oh my god, dropping Dijak with that forearm. And, you know, you can say what you want about this whole Dakota Kai, Austin Theory storyline that's been going on. Whatever it is, it hasn't been made exactly clear. I'm not even sure if they really know what it is either. But everyone's got their speculation, you know, everyone's got their theories, no pun intended. But one thing is for certain. Oh my god. The cover here by Dijak. Is that enough to win the United States Championship? Do we have a new champion? No. There's one thing you can say about Theory. When he turns off all the noise and he locks in to this extra gear that he's been running on as of late, Theory is the toughest that comes around. And look at this, stomping away on Dijak. And Theory is not backing down from this challenge here by Dijak, showing no intimidation. And that's what you're going to have to do if you're going to be one of the greats here. Nice neck breaker there by Austin Theory as he heads up to the top. What does Theory got in mind here? Elbow drop right into the heart of the bringer of justice, and a kick out at 2. Of course, Dijak's motto, looking to bring justice, or in this case, his idea of justice, to the Raw locker room. And if he can win the United States Championship, he just might get that wish. And now Dijak, oh my god. This match has surprisingly been back and forth between these two. And oh, what a boot. Right across the jawbone of the champ. And now Dijak thinking maybe, oh, what the hell is this? And a jaw-checking sit-out jawbreaker there by Dijak. In theory, might have a target on that jaw, and oh my god, holy hell. What a move there by Dijak. Oh my goodness, is that enough? No, and a kick out at 2, and again, Theory showing that heart that won him the US Championship at SummerSlam. I mean, next to Seth Rollins, this has got to be the toughest challenge that Theory has faced so far. It's definitely the toughest form of adversity he's had to face since winning that championship, which he has defended proudly. And now look at this. We might have a new champion. Feast your eyes. Connects flush. Dijak for the cover. Do we have a new United States champion? No. Theory kicking out at 2. Theory hanging on. Hanging on to that title for just a little bit longer. And Dijak thought he had this match won. And now, what the hell is Dijak thinking here in a moonsault? And Theory able to evade. The athleticism on the part of Dijak never ceases to surprise me. And now look at this. Has the champ up on his shoulders and drops him over the top rope. I'm telling you right now, Theory looks like he is in some serious trouble as he trips up Dijak. Tripping out the big man by the legs. And now a clothesline shot right to the chest. Now Theory looking to make a comeback here. Trying to come back into this match. And another scissors kick. Lands flush. Theory trying to get the ball rolling in this match for him. And now look at this, the strength of Theory, hitting Dijak with a sidewalk slam. And now thinking ATL perhaps, and he gets all of it. Theory to retain the United States Championship. Is it enough to retain? No. And Dijak just barely gets the shoulder up. It was almost a nonchalant pin there by the champ. That might be a mistake as Dijak connects with a suplex. We're entering deep waters into this match. The 7th inning stretch for both these men. Who wants it more? We're about to find out here as Dijak gets the champ up one more time. Feast your eyes once again for the United States Championship. Do we have a new champion? And we do. Dijak walks into Indianapolis and steals the United States Championship. I'm stunned. We have a new United States champion in Dijak. Well, next week we officially start the road to Survivor Series, and that is about as exciting as it gets. But now, we go from exciting to strange. Of course, the last time we saw Alexa Bliss was at SummerSlam. It seems like since then, Bliss has gone out and almost reinvented herself, but she's still carrying around that doll she's called Lily. And still seems kind of not all there. She's got a big test ahead of her. The brand new Women's World Champion, Rhea Bloody Ripley. Ripley cashing in her Money in the Bank contract a few weeks ago on Becky Lynch, in which she would walk out of that match victorious as your new Women's World Champion. And she is looking to set an example tonight. But she's not sharing the ring with some slouch. And I don't think she would want it any other way. Because make no mistake about it, while the size difference in this match is obvious, do not let the size of Bliss fool you as she drops the champion with a big boot and a cover already. Alexa Bliss is no slouch, of course, a former 5-time women's champion across both brands of Raw and SmackDown. You want a legit opponent, Alexa Bliss is about as legit as it gets. Do not let her size fool you as Rhea Ripley burying a dropkick right into the face of Bliss. And now Bliss looking to do the same to the champ. I'll do you one better, says Alexa Bliss, and a dropkick to the back of the champ. Of course, Ripley felt almost disrespected last week during the brawl between Dakota Kai and Becky Lynch, cutting her interview time at the start of the show last week. Naturally, she took offense to it. She called out the entire women's roster, saying that this is her division now. Which, I mean, she's not wrong. And now Alexa Bliss with a code red. And like I was saying, do not sleep on Bliss, because right now, she is giving Ripley all that she can handle right now. And now, oh my god, Ripley. Perhaps I spoke too soon. Dropping Bliss with a calf kick there, right to the forehead. And Bliss just running through that. And look at this. The ring awareness being put on display by Little Miss Bliss. Now look at, oh man, Bliss getting hung up on the top rope. And now Ripley starting to take control of this match. I mean, if you're Rhea Ripley, you have to think the Raw Women's Division is starting to become more and more stacked as the weeks go by. You have Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, just to name a few of the mega stars here in the women's division on Raw. But then you have rising stars like Dakota Kai, Alba Fire, Cora Jade, just to name a few. Raw's women's division is the best it has looked in quite some time. Becky Lynch, of course, another name, who Rhea Ripley just so happened to beat for the Women's Championship as she bounces Bliss's face off the mat and connects with a leg drop. And wait a second, what the hell? What? Wait, how did... I told you not everything was right with her. How the hell did she just do that? I have more questions than answers on what the hell I just saw there, but Ripley getting the shoulder up at 2. Ripley, along with everyone else, including myself, was caught off guard by that little stunt that Bliss just pulled off there. And now look at this, has the champ hung up on the ropes here. But Ripley able to escape. Able to escape the Tree of Woe. And now look at this. A combination of clotheslines here being delivered by Ripley. And look at this. Spins her around with a drop kick. And misses with a leg drop. And now Bliss, using her size to advantage. Now thinking another code red here this time. And this time she goes for the cover. Hooking the leg of the champ. Is it enough? And no, Ripley kicks out at 2. Of course, last time we saw Alexa Bliss on Monday Night Raw, she was feuding with the Vibe Crew, who have since gone their separate ways since SummerSlam. But Alexa Bliss currently taking the champ to her limits as she misses with a Twisted Bliss. And now Ripley, another German suplex, giving Brock Lesnar a run for his money. What is that now, 3? That she's delivered, and now, oh, look at this, the strength of Rhea Ripley. Full display with a stalling suplex. And now Bliss taking a timeout here, evading The move of Ripley there, she buries a forearm right into her cheek. And I don't know what the hell Bliss is doing there. Oh, God. Ripley has had enough of the games from Alexa Bliss. Just a swift kick right across the face. That was nasty. Ripley done playing games. And now Bliss sent off the ropes here. Misses with an open hand slap. And now, oh, and a super kick by Rhea Ripley. Was thinking about putting this match away, setting up for potentially the Riptide here. No, wait a second. What the hell is this? Wait a second. Bliss, oh my God! Flips over Rhea Ripley with a reverse Frankensteiner. Ripley landed right on her head. And a stiff shot to the jaw. Bliss looking to put this one away, perhaps. She's got Ripley on the ropes. Drop toe hold. And look at this. Walking over like a used rug. And Bliss continuing to take it to the Women's World Champion right now. I don't know why she didn't go for the cover when she dropped her on her head. That reverse Frankensteiner was nasty. And now Bliss with a clothesline, sending Ripley over the top rope. The champ is in trouble right now. Alexa Bliss giving her all that she can handle and then some. And wait a second, Ripley trying to get control back after throwing Bliss back into the ring, and another stalling suplex. Did that stall the momentum of Bliss? And now Ripley with a bridge looks for the cover here and a kick out at 2 by Bliss. Now Bliss might be in some trouble here, and Ripley with a kick to the midsection, setting up for a Riptide, and she connects. Alexa Bliss hit with a Riptide. Is it enough? And she got her. An impressive victory for Rhea Ripley, who had to earn that victory against a 5-time Women's Champion. Needless to say, it is Rhea Ripley's era now. Well, I tell you what, those qualifying matches for next week just continue to become more and more stacked. Will we be seeing this man come Survivor Series War Games? Tommaso Ciampa. Last time we saw Ciampa, he was going up against the now former United States champion, Austin Theory. And at the time, what was the United States Championship Open Challenge. But now, tonight, he's going up against a debuting Karrion Kross. tick-tock, because after an entrance like that, that might have just put the whole Raw roster on notice. And of course, Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa has been floundering on Raw as of late. Feels like there hasn't been a lot of momentum for him, and a big win here against Cross could maybe change things for him. But after that entrance, I don't think Cross is someone that you would want to take very lightly. And now look at this Cross burying the boots into the chest of the Blackheart. Of course, we've seen Ciampa main event Raw, especially back in the early days, and again, Cross burying the boots into the chest of Ciampa. And to Ciampa's credit, we have seen him main event episodes of Raw before. Of course, the first ever episode of Universe Mode, first episode of Raw, was main evented by AJ Styles and Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa at one point was in the title hunt. If he would have beaten AJ Styles in the main event of the first episode of Monday Night Raw, he would have went on to Money in the Bank to face Roman Reigns. That's how close he was. But since then, it feels like, oh man, a DDT to Cross. It feels like since then, he hasn't had a lot of momentum under his wings. And I don't think Karrion Kross is going to help matters, but Ciampa sure as hell is taking the fight to Cross, and now Cross turning things around, answering with a couple of forearms, some ground and pound. And of course, the seductive but evil Scarlett at Karrion Kross's side. She's easily a distraction just as much as she is a threat to Kross's opponents. She is dangerous, just as she is beautiful. But don't let that distract you from the fact that Kross... And oh, wait a second. Ciampa rolling up Kross here. Don't let that distract you from just how dangerous the pairing of Scarlett and Kross actually is, as Kross buries his foot into the chest of Ciampa. And now look at this. Oh no, oh man, Doomsday. A Doomsday by Karrion Kross, who's looking to finish this thing. He's looking to lock in the chokehold here. He's got Ciampa down. Ciampa's got nowhere to go. It might just be a matter of time. Kross might have this thing locked down, but... Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. Ciampa fighting out of it. Ciampa actually able to escape that chokehold there by Kross and connects with a suplex. And now, wait a second. And the knees to the back. And we've seen Ciampa use that move to good results. And Kross kicking out at 2. I don't know, both of these men look hungry. But Kross, something about him, he looks like he is on a mission. As Ciampa drops him face first right into the canvas. I've never used the term Terminator-esque before, but that's the best way to describe the vibe I get from Karrion Kross. And now look at this, Ciampa says, remember when you were stomping away at me earlier in the match? Consider this returning the favor. And now Ciampa plants Cross on the outside. And the referee's at a count of 6. These two better get back in as they break the referee's count. And now look at this. Scarlett getting into the face of Ciampa. But meanwhile, Cross with a cross jacket submission hold locked in. And oh, wait a second. Ciampa once again fighting out of it. But how much more does he have left? And oh, wait a second. I think we're about to find out. And now Cross looking to fight out of this one. That was a beautiful transition by Tommaso Ciampa. He just wasn't able to get the full extent as Cross is able to fight out. And now Ciampa, what a high knee there by Ciampa. Dropping Cross. Is that enough to put him away? And no. 2.5. Now Ciampa drops him. And oh, Cross. That was poor ring positioning. Cross too close to the ropes. And again, Scarlett. And from behind is Cross. A cheap shot. And now look at this. Once again, looking for the cross jacket submission. And this time it's Ciampa who's too close to the ropes. Now frustration beginning to set in for Karrion Kross, who's looking for Doomsday, and he gets all of it. A second Doomsday to Tommaso Ciampa, and that might be it. And Kross with a statement win in his Universe Mode debut. A very scary and dangerous duo has cemented their place here on Monday Night Raw. Of course, Rollins and Lynch looking to collect their bearings as next week is shaping up to be a good one. Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles go one-on-one in a Survivor Series War Games qualifying match, and the winner will go on to represent Team Raw at Survivor Series. And the same goes for these two. Alba Fire takes on Ava Rain, and the winner of that will go on to become a part of the Women's Raw team for Survivor Series War Games. That should be a good match between those two. A lot at stake next week. And also, Roman Reigns, after the events of Extreme Rules, that's to come this week. Roman Reigns will be live with us on Raw next week. And speaking of Extreme Rules, this is where all the marbles are at, as Dakota Kai takes on Becky Lynch, and this one is as personal as it gets. Of course, this one will be an Extreme Rules match. And after all the months of build-up and torment between these two, it all finally comes to an end, as Becky Lynch looks to close the chapter on the Mafia. And speaking of personal, Cody Rhodes and Sheamus made it official at the top of the show, as they will take on each other in a Donnybrook Brawl match. That is going to be what the kids say as an absolute banger. Cody Rhodes and Sheamus at Extreme Rules. And then, of course, made it official last week on SmackDown. It will now be a triple threat as Drew McIntyre defends his World Heavyweight Championship against the number one contender, Randy Orton, and McIntyre's rival, Randy Orton. And this week on SmackDown, Kevin Owens gets to decide what the stipulation of that match will be. That is to be determined this week on SmackDown. And then, of course, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, the Usos take on the New Day in a Tornado 6-man tag team match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And, of course, Roman Reigns is going to be watching that one. Just be careful, both of you. Those the words of a seemingly conflicted Jey Uso. Of course, there does seem to be some drama, perhaps some cracks forming in the bloodline. And if you're the New Day, that might just be a blessing in disguise for you. But it is now time for our main event, as Big E looks to take on the Tribal Chief just before Extreme Rules. Of course, depending on how everything turns out at Extreme Rules, this may or may not be the last time we see Big E with the Raw Tag Team Championships. It has been literal years since the last time we saw Roman Reigns in a one-on-one match on Monday Night Raw. But of course, you saw everything that was going on with the Usos, Ava Reigns, Solo Sikoa. There is perhaps some trust issues forming within the bloodline, but that has not stopped Roman Reigns from having a death grip on that WWE Championship. At the start of Universe Mode, he knocked off the phenomenal AJ Styles at Money in the Bank. Since that, he has gone on to defeat Cesaro at both Clash of the Champions, Clash of Champions, and Hell in a Cell. He retired Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam, and now he looks to send a message to the New Day before Extreme Rules. A big fight feel here in the main event of Raw. And oh, wait a second, in the back, that's where Kofi Kingston was. I was wondering why Kofi Kingston wasn't out there with the rest of the New Day. It was a setup to get the jump on the hitman of the Bloodline. And the Usos, they look conflicted. They don't know what to do. They're out here to support Roman, and the Usos head into the back to help out their brother. And now it's a one-on-one. Big E might just have a fair chance in this match. And remember, Big E went to Triple H last week and asked him specifically for this match. This was a match that Big E wanted, and what a deadlift powerbomb there by Big E, who is fired up tonight. Of course, you heard what Jey Uso had to say. Telling his cousins, Ava and Solo, to be careful of Roman Reigns. For good reason. As Big E looking for the cover here. And Reigns gets the shoulder up at 1. Not even close. But you heard what Jimmy had to say. You heard what Jimmy was telling Jey. Jimmy said that it feels like Roman has had it out for them. And he's not wrong. Since the Usos lost the Raw Tag Team titles to the New Day, Roman has been awfully antagonistic towards both of the Usos. But the problem with Jimmy is that Jimmy has a mouth. Jimmy, of course, a lot more outspoken than Jey. And Roman not taking things too kindly there. And not to mention, you have to remember that it was Jimmy who wanted this match. He offered this match at Extreme Rules in the first place. And that also did not sit well with the Tribal Chief, who hits Big E with a suplex. Needless to say, it is a mess right now in the Bloodline. And Extreme Rules. And oh my god, what a right hand there by... What a massive right hand there by Reigns. The Bloodline needs to figure it out at Extreme Rules. Otherwise, there could possibly be repercussions. And Big E plants Roman Reigns with a spine buster there, trying to make a comeback in this match, and Reigns kicks out at 2. Imagine the statement. Imagine how huge the momentum of the New Day would be heading into Extreme Rules if Big E was to get the win over Roman Reigns tonight. How huge would that be? Easier said than done. Many have tried before and many have failed. AJ Styles, Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler. The names of the people that Roman has put down in his journey so far. Will Big E become another name on that ever-growing list? As E getting sent out to the apron, and what is this? Reigns meets E and the apron, and look at this. Oh no. Big E backdropped right onto the apron. But he's not taking it laying down. Rub some dirt on it. As he picks him up and slams him. And for the most part, this has been a pretty evenly contested match. And oh, Reigns. Reigns with a clothesline. And remember, Reigns is alone right now. No Usos, no Solo, and oh, wait a second, guillotine locked in. Guillotine locked in for Reigns. In the middle of the ring, Big E's got nowhere to go. But Big E fighting out of it. Trying to break the hold here, and he gets Reigns up. He's able to break the guillotine. And now Reigns. Or Big E, excuse me. Big E fighting back. Now look at this, Big E. Off the ropes. Big splash to Reigns. Cover here. Is it enough to put away the WWE Champion? And no. What this match is all about, it's about momentum. If Reigns is to get a victory here, the Bloodline walks into Extreme Rules with the momentum. And what the hell is Reigns thinking here as he goes over the top rope? How often do you see Reigns go airborne? That is a scary, scary sight. As Reigns throws the big man back into the ring. And I almost wonder what's going on with Kofi and the Usos and Solo Sikoa. We haven't seen the Usos since, and Reigns from the middle rope. Reigns pulling out some new tricks from his bag of offense. And again, another uppercut. And Big E just eating these uppercuts from Reigns. Now look at this. The big man showing his power here, and a snake eyes from the top rope. The positivity stomps, the unicorn stampede. Now look at this, Heyman. Doing what he does best, running his mouth. Of course, we heard that Heyman was pulling some strings with Triple H and actually was able to get Ava Raine a shot at Survivor Series and a big ending. Big ending there from Big E. Is it enough to put away the champion? Oh my God, so close. How close was that? That was almost the match right there. Paul Heyman getting Ava Raine a shot at Survivor Series next week. But Roman Reigns missing with the Superman punch. And Big E looking for another big ending there, but Reigns able to counter it into a back body drop. This is intense. And Reigns perhaps thinking spear maybe. Oh, but Big E counters it. But Reigns not having any of it. Thinking maybe spear again, and this time Big E again. Putting the brakes on that. And again, Big E with another big splash across the ribs of the big dog. And I look at Heyman on the apron messing with the turnbuckle. That damn weasel Paul Heyman. As Reigns breaks the hold. And I look at this, a roll through here by Reigns. Lifting up the big man and the strength of the champ, Roman Reigns, on another level, and a kick out by Big E. Now Reigns thinking spear to put this thing away. As Xavier Woods looks on and a spear to put this thing away. Do we have a winner here? And Reigns, no! Big E will not say die. And now look at this. Big E pops right back up. Hits Reigns with the big ending. Is it enough to put him away? And no, again Reigns. Again kicking out. But there was barely anything behind that kick out. If Big E can just get off another one, he might have a shot. But Reigns with a big boot. And now Reigns perhaps thinking another spear here. And he gets all of it. Another spear to Big E. Is this enough? And that's all she wrote. What a match. Roman Reigns proving why he is on top. No help needed. What does this mean? It means the Bloodline has the momentum heading into Extreme Rules. What's going to happen? Tune in to SmackDown as we head towards Extreme Rules.